Discussion of sports tourism, talking about thinking down the line, is something that's discussed, i.e., the stadium, the Lyra Stadium. Folks are saying we can, in fact, produce
But
facilities where we can get people.
sport tourism, that's just old talk. Sports tourism cannot happen in a very sustainable manner. Even when I would have spoken about a sport industry and getting it to billions of dollars by the year 2030, that's just empty talk and a wish if we don't put in place the things that need to be put in place. So when I hear, not you, but when I hear the policymakers and decision makers,
you heard me echoing what has been said. Yes,
sport tourism. I always point out to them, you can't have sport tourism without tourism. So if we wanted to bring Real Madrid and Barcelona here, and somebody came up with a brilliant idea, and they had the millions to put out to host that game and pay the fees and five-star hotels, five-star business class, charter plane, full business class, and get these group in with all of their attendants. The first thing is that we may not have enough room. So we go to Hyatt or we go to Hilton, and they may not be able to take the full contingent because once Real Madrid and Barcelona are traveling, they have their die-hard fans, right? They will ask about, and these are things that have actually happened. So, for example, there were a couple of countries that were genuinely and sincerely interested. And let me just say, if we talk about sport tourism, we have lost a significant opportunity to be a training center for countries from all over the world.
For this
right?
Rio
To go to the same Rio
yes.
because it's close and the same kind of time zone, etc. So we have had, there was some genuine interest taking place, especially with these world-class facilities. But one, there is no hotel close by. So they're not going to use the cycle and they have to travel from Port of Spain. The other major thing is what is the medical facilities like? Because we may read, when you see somebody get injured or get a heart attack or get a severe injury watching television, and you see they bring on all the different things, and then you see, despite how gross or grotesque the leg may be, you see within 9 months,
it's all right
because
because
you
of
have
facility.
to understand that is the absolute best medical care that has to take place at what they call the first respondent.
I'm glad that you went exactly there because it's easy when these things are touted. And when I heard about sports tourism, it did raise a lot of questions. But the infrastructure you're talking about is part of what has to accompany a genuine tourist arrival situation.
Correct, because, okay, so Bahamas is hosting the Youth Commonwealth game. They stepped in St. Lucia. St. Lucia had some issues, so they couldn't take it up. Bahamas is hosting it, right? That's a perfect example. Youth Commonwealth games. They may have about 3,000 people coming in because it's youth oriented, 600 athletes, whatever. But in Bahamas, they have the tourism infrastructure. I was there a couple of weeks ago. They had this meeting. They have these big all-inclusive hotels. There is just where they're hosting the games is about 2 miles down the road, and you can of the 7 sports that they are having, Rennie, they're having 6 in one area within walking distance.
Right.
The stadium, the this, the that. So they have the tourism infrastructure, right? Even if we wanted to bring a small event, or there are tiers of events, right? So you have the big guns like the Olympics and World Cup, which is 10,500 athletes going to Rio. 5,000 something officials in terms of team dynamics. You know how much, I'm not jumping on, you know how many journalists accredited for the Rio Olympic Games?
Probably about 10,000.
20,000. Right? So you just do that between the people who go in, supposed to go, that's 30,000 people. Right? Then you multiply by 2 and 3. So even if Trinidad and Tobago wanted to host an event that was, let's say, a tier down at the tier, small, maybe regional, whatever, and have 1,500 people coming, 1,500 to 2,000 people. Tell me where we putting them up.
Yep, that's your challenge. 107.7 Music for Life. This is breakfast. That's what we're having here. Brazil had that situation where they had to prepare, but the thing about them is, one, that they have the population in the first place, and 2, it was an Olympic event, and that's what they prepared for. Sports tourism is a nice pipe dream. Okay, take that pipe dream, put it across there. Here is a question for you. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
So what I was going to say, so even when you talk about sport tourism, it has to happen in a particular environment. The NSOs and NGBs are the ones that have to bid for these events, right? Not so even if the Ministry or Tourism wanted to bid, some of these events have to go to the NSOs. So the NSOs themselves, because when you get a bidding for events that come under sport tourism, there are specific things you have to produce that come under good governance. You have to so what I'm saying is that before to get to some of the things, even the sport industry, it is about working backwards. So you have it's like having a someday goal, big goal, and you have to work that to come back a year, a month, a day, to something as simple I've been sharing with people. What is the one thing we absolutely have to do today to bring us closer to that goal? And that's something Trinidad and Tobago, our culture code, we are not hardwired to do that level
Service?
of what they call detail management.
Oh, okay. Whoa. It's a serious indictment. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, he is Brian Lewis. He is my guest this morning. When we had 5-day test, by the way, listeners, you wonder why we're not spending more time on Tema. There's a thing called gag. There's a thing called very judicious utterance, and he's
legal gag.
He's got some borders on either side. Nothing much can be said on that issue till tomorrow, right? There's going to be a press conference tomorrow where a lot of things will be made clear. So that's the reason we're not there. Just want to quickly go almost like my penultimate question to you is T20 cricket in the Olympics. I am, for the life of me, could not understand why. I understood why a 5-day test match could not be involved in the Olympics. That's fine. I understood that. But because there is such wide love of cricket and it's been locked down to where you can do it in 4 hours, is there any conversation about cricket being something that should be represented at the Olympics?
I'm one of those who would love to see it.
Yeah.
Although I think that maybe when it gets down to T10, because I think we'll get to T10 one of these days.
T10?
Cricket going right.
Oh, they don't have to call it T10. They could just call it Vopa's Paradise.
But I think that what has happened is that the BCC, the big guns.
Yeah, BCCI, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that they don't have a genuine interest in it. That's just my view. Okay. Although I know that I've been told stay out of the cricket business, but that's how it has been. They have a real lock on this T20. The big money is in that part of the world. And if you had T20 on the Olympics now, it will change a shift, and then what you'll have happen is that it will democratize the cricket in the sense that, remember now, every country, it has to be global, has an access to playing, and I think that that cricket, it not. Sometimes you wonder whether they're really genuinely, from the level of the ICC, genuinely interested in globalization in terms of the nations playing. Obviously, they're more than happy to globalize so that they can monetize the benefits of the television rights. So that's something they will have to work out. I remember in 1998 they had 50 over cricket in the Commonwealth Games, and it was fascinating to see the countries. I remember being there in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and you had the Sachin Tendulkars, the Ambrose, etc. But funny enough, Trinidad and Tobago did not participate because at that time the late Aloy Lee Kwai in his consideration was firmly supporting the concept of West Indies cricket, and he felt that any steps to do that,
a distraction from the
will be kind of the beginning of the end. And it was something I think that was. I mean, you have to respect his perspective. At that time, he was a big man in cricket.
And I do respect it. You also have to respect that you have a lot of folks like Kerry Parker who will come here and revolutionize this thing, because Kerry started this whole thing up and bringing it down. Yes.
You had to say he was a visionary.
Yes, he was.
In terms of what he have done, and look what has happened now with
the father of the
T20,
of the current sport. Yes.
T20.
Okay. So I'm gonna do my 1 minute I have with you. I'm gonna do my bad journalist thing. I'm gonna do my bad talk show host thing. At the end of the day, we are gonna have a representative. You think at the Olympics? That's a bad journalist part. Okay. Second part of that. I think some good can come of this. Do you agree? can come of this whole situation that just blew up. Some good can come in the sense of the greater, now that it's highlighted, greater scrutiny will be put on organizations for the transparency issue. Can I get that out of you? Yeah, you agree?
The Chinese have a saying, I think it is that you don't waste a good crisis.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I like that. Yeah, I got to learn Chinese. I like President of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, thank you for coming out in the weather. Thank you for taking the time to share with us. Tomorrow, let our listeners know again, what time is this press conference?
10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m.
At Olympic House.
At Olympic House. Yeah. Everybody will be looking at that because some of the things that brought my guest to total silence will have a voice tomorrow. Brian, thank you so much.
Thank you
for taking the time to be with us. You too now. Right.